Hello all, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the chapter Heredity and Evolution. So this is the last topic under heredity. Yeah. In the previous videos, we have studied entire things about the heredity, isn't it? We studied what do you mean by monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, and how actually the new generations are produced, what kind of genotypes do they have, what different varieties of genotypes we have got, right? So all that we studied. And today, let us try to understand one thing, that is, how do the traits gets expressed? Okay, how is a one particular character is getting expressed in a future generation? Okay, say for example, you have a plant, and which is having a chromosomes. Say this is one set of chromosome in a particular plant, and these chromosomes are telling about a character called height. Okay, and this chromosome has an allele capital T, and this chromosome has an allele or gene for small t. And you all very well know that what do you mean by capital T? Capital T is the allele or gene responsible for tallness, and small t is the allele or gene responsible for dwarfness, isn't it? And this is the genotype of that particular plant. And how is the plant will grow as? The plant will definitely grow as the taller plant, isn't it? It has a gene for dwarfness also, but the plant is growing to be a taller plant because the gene for tallness is dominating here. Okay, this has become so much strong, and this particular guy is getting expressed himself in a particular plant. That's why the plant is growing to be a taller plant. Say why this is happening. Okay, how you are telling that this particular gene is dominant? No doubt the plant is growing as a taller plant, so I can tell that among capital T and small t, capital T is dominative, so the plant is growing as a taller plant. That's one issue, fine. But what is actually happening with these particular genes internally inside the body of a plant? How this guy is getting expressed? How this gene is working inside a plant body to grow as a taller plant? That is what we are going to discuss here. Okay, let us discuss that with one example so that you will become very much clear with the concept. Say, we all know what is the growth hormone in case of plants? That is auxins. Okay, all this about the hormones in plants we studied in a chapter, control and coordination, isn't it? So we have an hormone called auxin, right? So what is this? This is a hormone, and this hormone is actually responsible for growth of a plant. Growth of a plant. Okay. Say if this hormone is more, in a plant, then plant grows as a taller plant. Grows as tall plant. Okay. In case if this hormone is less in a plant, then plant grows as dwarf plant. Okay, it will not grow in size, it will not grow in height. Okay, so in that case we call it as a dwarf plant, right? Then who is responsible for the production of auxin? Something must be there inside a plant body to produce auxin, isn't it? So who is responsible? Actually, some enzymes are responsible here. Responsible for the production of auxins. for the production of auxins. Okay, say what do you mean by enzymes? Enzymes are nothing but proteins, guys. Actually, the genes which are present in a chromosome is coding for the production of protein. Okay, these genes are responsible for the formation of these enzymes or protein, guys. Okay, among the two guys, since this gene is very much active, it will give information for the production of this enzyme. Say in the plant body, if this enzyme is produced in a more amount, then this enzyme, if it is there in a more amount, then it can activate the production of auxin. If more and more auxin is produced, then the plant will grow out as a taller plant. Got to know? So this is how the gene, that is the dominant gene, since it is dominant, since it is more active, so it starts its work much faster than this guy, recessive guy, because it's very much active, guys. So it will very early and very fastly gives information for the production, for the creating of protein called some enzymes. Once the enzymes are there in a plant body, these enzymes will start making a hormone called auxin. Okay, once the auxin has produced in more and more amount, then automatically the plant will grow as a taller plant. Okay, so this is how the dominant trait will work inside a body. Since the guy is more active, it will try to give the faster information to produce the enzyme. Okay, so what is happening here actually? Dominant gene. Okay, since it is very much active, it gives information to synthesize, or synthesize in the sense what, guys? To create proteins. Okay, these proteins are nothing but what? Enzymes. Okay, so next step, once the enzyme is formed, then that leads to the formation of more auxin. Okay, auxin is a hormone responsible for tallness. Okay, once you have more auxin, then the plant will grow out as a taller plant. This is how the gene is getting worked. This is how the gene is actually working inside a body. Okay, so among the two alleles, one of the allele, that is the gene, is more dominant in the sense this is how it works. Okay, so it gives faster information to produce a protein, that is enzyme. And once you have the related enzymes to produce a particular hormone, that hormone is produced in a larger amount. Once you have the larger amount of a hormone, then automatically that hormone's work is done very fastly. What is the work of that hormone? Growing the plant in height. Okay, so the plant grows as a taller plant, right? So this is how one of the gene is working very fastly, compared to the other gene. That particular gene only we call it as dominant gene. Right? So whether a plant has to be a taller or shorter definitely depends on a genotype. Not only the height character, any character. It may be in animals or plants. Okay. So based on this, one thing I can tell is the genes control the characters. Yes or no? Each and every character is actually controlled by the genes. Try to remember this sentence. Okay, so what I can tell here is, just take a small note here. Genes control the traits Yes, looking at this example, you know, a particular character called height is entirely controlled by gene. Okay, if gene in the sense here, this particular dominant gene, that is, if that allele is giving information, then only enzyme is produced. If enzyme is produced, then only hormone is produced. If hormone is produced, only then the character gets elevated, right, in a particular organism. So based on this example, I can clearly say that genes control the traits. That means genes control the characters. Each and every character is controlled by genes only. Okay, so next, let us talk about sex determination in humans. What do you mean by this sex determination in humans? It's very simple. It is the way of predicting whether a baby can be a boy or a girl. Okay, so it is the way of predicting the gender of a baby in case of humans is called sex determination. So we are learning how we can predict the gender of a baby in case if you know what genes are combining. You know, it's all because of the combination of genes. One can able to say whether a baby boy is getting born or a baby girl is getting born, right? So we are going to have that idea here. Clear? Before we go to that idea, you all must try to recall about the chromosomes that I explained in my second video of this chapter. Okay, we spoke so many things and detailed things about chromosome. Right? Once again, I will just recall that concept here about the chromosomes. See, we have 46 chromosomes in each and every cell of a body, except the gametes. Sperm doesn't have 46 chromosomes. Egg also do not contain 46. Except sperm and egg. Okay, remaining all cells will have 46 chromosomes. Isn't it? All cells has 46 chromosomes. And however these 46 chromosomes are present, they are present in 23 pairs. They are present in 23 pairs. Isn't it? Say for example, this is your first set of chromosome, right? And this is your second set of chromosome. Right, this is the first set, this is the second set, like that you will have third set, fourth set, and so on. Okay, so imagine this is a 23rd chromosome. Okay, say I am talking this karyotype is in case of male. Okay, you have some male, okay, where all his cells have, you know, 23 pairs of chromosomes, and his last pair, okay, till 22, all of them are the normal chromosomes, okay, and they have information, that is the genetic code relating to so many characters of him, okay, and these chromosomes, the normal chromosomes from first set to 22nd set, all these chromosomes are actually called as autosomes, okay. Whereas the 23rd set, okay, in case of male, the 23rd set looks like this. This particular chromosome, we call it as X chromosome, and another chromosome is smaller in size, guys. This is called Y chromosome. Okay, actually, in the particular set, the chromosomes are different in their size and shape. It is not that in a pair both of them should have same size and same shape. Okay, it's not like that. They can vary in their size and shape. Okay, say in case of male, his last set, this is the 23rd set. Isn't it? See, one chromosome, one allele, like one chromosome is very much bigger, and it has a genes, and that genes we will represent with the letter capital X. Okay. Another chromosome is shorter in size, and it also has some gene, you know, that gene is represented with the letter capital Y. Okay. So these chromosomes are actually called as sex chromosomes. So these are sex chromosomes in male. Sex chromosome in male. Okay, so what are the sex chromosome in male? X and Y. Among X and Y, X is a bigger chromosome, bigger in size, and Y is smaller in size. Okay, so that 23rd pair in every male, okay, has X chromosome and Y chromosome together. If you have X and Y chromosome in a particular cell, in a human cell, you know that cell is of a boy cell, it's of male cell. Okay, so this actually, the 23rd chromosome decides the gender of a person. Yeah, in case of female, okay, so all this is in case of male, I told. In case of female, okay, she will also have cells. She also has 46 chromosomes, guys. This is the first pair, this is the second pair, you know, like that, the third pair, fourth pair, you know. She also has the 22 pairs, normal chromosome, okay. Till 22, the chromosomes are normal, like they have information for various characters, okay, and they are called as autosomes. Whereas the 23rd pair in female, you know, I am drawing the chromosomes of 23rd pair in female. Both chromosomes are of same type, guys. Okay, and this chromosome has certain gene, and you know, I call it as X. This is X chromosome, and this is also X chromosome. Okay, so you have both X type of chromosomes in female, right? So these are the sex chromosomes in female. Okay, which is that this is the 23rd pair of chromosome in every cell of female has two X chromosomes. Okay, but in case of male, that 23rd pair in every cell is XY chromosomes. Okay, understood? Say if a person has XY chromosomes as 23rd pair, then that person is called to be a boy or a male. He will have all male characters. Okay, so the genes related to all male characters are actually located on these two chromosomes, guys. Okay, so the body changes or the hormones a male produces, everything is controlled by the genes present on X and Y chromosomes. Similarly, all girl characters are controlled by the genes present on X chromosomes. Okay, so if a particular cell has X and X chromosome as 23rd pair, then that particular person is called as a female in case of humans. Got to know? So all female characters are located on these particular chromosomes. All male characters are located on XY chromosomes, that is 23rd pair. That's why the 23rd pair in human is called as sex chromosomes, because these chromosomes will decide the gender of a person. Okay, now let us learn how to predict the gender of a newborn baby. Hey guys, this is a father, okay, and a mother. And you know, in his normal cells, he has two sex chromosomes, that is that 23rd pair is a sex chromosome. Among them, one is X and the shorter chromosome is Y. Okay, so mother also in his normal cell, these are normal cells, I'm talking about normal cell. That last 23rd pair of chromosome is there, no? That is XX. Okay, but during reproduction, okay, during the time of mating, what happens? Father produces gamete called sperm. Yes or no? Sperm. And mother produces a gamete called egg. And the sperm will have only one allele, guys. Sperm can have only one allele. Okay, sperm will have either X chromosome or Y chromosome. Clear everybody? I told you gametes have only half the amount of gene. Okay, if a normal cell has 46 chromosomes, gamete will have only 23 chromosomes. Okay, from every set only one chromosome comes into the sperm. Got it? Like that, from 23rd set also only one chromosome can be present in a sperm. Okay, in case of sperm you can have X or Y. Okay, you can have sperm containing X chromosome or you can have sperm containing Y chromosome. Okay, similarly in case of egg, among the two X chromosome only one X chromosome can be present. Okay, clear? So these are the possible gametes, guys. Clear? And now if this gamete having, this is a gamete having X chromosome. Okay, what is this, guys? Gamete having X chromosome. Okay, and this is a gamete having sperm having Y chromosome. Y chromosome. Only one sperm only meets with the egg, not two sperms, isn't it? Either sperm containing X chromosome can meet or sperm containing Y chromosome can meet. Okay? If sperm containing X chromosome meets with the egg can have X because both chromosomes are X, guys. Egg will always have X. Okay, so if this sperm containing X chromosome is meeting with the X chromosome of egg, what is the baby genotype? It is XX. That means you will get a female baby girl you will get. Yes or no? If the sperm containing Y chromosome meets with X, then you will get XY. That means you will have a boy baby. Got to know? See, sperms can be of various types. Either sperm can have X chromosome or sperm can have Y chromosome, two possibilities. If X containing sperm is meeting with the egg, you will get a baby's genotype as baby sex chromosomes as XX. That means the baby is purely a girl. Okay? And if Y chromosome containing sperm is meeting with egg, then what is the baby's sex chromosomes genotype? XY. That means the baby is going to be a boy. Okay, so like this, actually you have 50% chances of getting boy or a girl, right? And one thing you can clearly observe, the gender of a baby is purely decided by father, because father has two options of producing a sperm. Either he can produce a sperm with X chromosome or he can produce a sperm with Y chromosome, guys. Isn't it? In case if X chromosome meets with the egg always has X chromosome only. Okay, either this allele goes into a egg, it is X chromosome only, or this allele goes to a egg, it is X chromosome only. Mother always has X, but father only has an option. He can produce a X chromosome containing sperm or Y chromosome containing sperm. Okay, say gender of a baby is purely decided by a father's gamete only. Okay, and actually you have 50% of chance, 50% chances of having a boy or a girl. You cannot 100% say boy baby only will be produced or girl baby only is produced. It all depends on what chromosome containing gamete of a father is combining with the egg. Egg always has X. Okay, now what sperm? Either sperm with X is meeting with egg or sperm with Y is meeting with egg. Based on that situation, whether a baby boy is coming or baby girl is coming can be decided. Okay, see here you need to remember 2 points. Looking at the sex determination, 2 things you can observe here is 50% chances are observed okay, in having a girl or a boy. Okay, and another point is gender of a baby. Gender, that means whether a girl or a boy. Gender of a baby is completely depends on the gametes of a father. Depends on the gametes of a father. Okay, it depends on what gene is inherited in a gamete. You know, based on that only gender is decided. So it's all depends on the gametes of a father. Okay, so this is all about the sex determination in humans. Say, how do you determine the sex in humans? If asked, you have to show like this, right? And try to remember these 2 points, right? And you don't have more chances of having only a male baby, or you don't have more chances of having only a girl baby or boy baby. You know, the chances are equal actually, right? And the gender can always be predicted if you know the gametes of the gene that is there in the gametes of a father. Clear? So that's all about the sex determination in humans. Now let us deal with some questions on heredity. With this heredity topic is completed, let us see few questions. We already have done few questions in the previous videos. Some more questions let us discuss now. Look at the first question, read carefully. A man with blood group A, okay, that means father. Father's blood group is A. Okay, he is marrying with a woman with blood group O. That means a mother's blood group is O. And the daughter has a blood group O. Daughter's blood group is O. Is this information enough to tell you which of the traits A or O blood group is dominant? Why or why not? Understood the question? Father is having a blood group A. Mother is having a blood group O. Okay. Both of them had a daughter and she is having a blood group O. They are asking, is this information enough to tell that whether A blood group is dominant or O blood group is dominant? Which is dominant character or which is recessive character? That is what you have to tell. Okay, they gave a situation. They gave a blood group of father, blood group of mother, blood group of daughter. You have to tell among A blood group and O blood group, which is a dominant, which is a recessive. Can you be able to tell with this given information? No, guys. Okay, many of the children, what they think is, yes, we can tell daughter's blood group is O. That then the blood group O must be dominant. So the dominant one has expressed in the daughter, so she has got O blood group. This is how most of us will think. You also might have got this answer only in your mind. Yes or no? So logically, like what we studied in genetics so far. Okay, mother will have some genes, father will have some genes. Among them, the dominant one is expressed in the kids. Say here, daughter has O. The O blood group is seen in mother. That means the O must be dominant. So it is expressed in the daughter. So she is having a O blood group. You know, this is a normal tendency of thinking, right? But that is not true, guys. Okay, this information is actually not enough to tell whether A is dominant or O is dominant. Okay, I'll show you how it is. Okay, and just have this idea in your mind. I'm giving some idea about the blood groups. Actually speaking, A blood groups and B blood groups, you know, these are actually dominant blood groups, guys. A and B are dominant and O blood group is always recessive. Okay, O is always recessive. Okay, A allele and B allele of blood groups are dominant, and O allele, if you find, it's always recessive. Keep this basic information in your mind. Okay, and based on that information, based on that knowledge, you can clearly say that daughter might have got O blood group. Okay, no doubt, but O is not dominant. You know, we know the knowledge now. Actually, A, B are dominant, O is recessive. Since daughter has got O blood group, it is not that O is dominant. O is always recessive in case of blood groups. Okay, so based on this idea also, you can actually tell that no, O is not dominant gene. Okay, but actually this information is not enough to give the answer whether A is dominant or O is dominant. Okay, I'll tell you how. Say imagine father's blood group is A, no? Imagine father is having a genotype AA. Okay, both alleles are AA. Mother's blood group is O, no? Imagine mother's genotype for the blood group is O. Okay, and what are the gametes produced in father, guys? Gamete of father can have A allele, another possible gamete also can have A allele. Okay, mother's gametes, it can be O, another possible gamete also can have O allele because homozygous condition. Yes or no? Both alleles same in the genes. Okay, and now put the Punnet's box and predict the blood groups, possible blood groups of a baby, possible blood groups. Punnet's box. The father's gametes, I'll write here horizontally. Mother's gametes, I'll write here vertically. Okay, and combine them, you will get AO, AO, all AO, AO. Okay, see, the kids can have 100% possibilities of having what genotype, guys? AO only. Okay, say among AO, just now I told you, A allele is always dominant, right? Since in the AO, A dominant allele is A. So the baby, okay, whoever may born, boy or a girl, the baby always, looking at this, we can say the baby always has A blood group here, A blood group. Okay, because the genotype, all possible genotypes of a baby is, it's not that 4 babies are born here. These are 4 possible genes that can be present in a baby. Okay, all 4 possible varieties of a baby, gene varieties of a baby is AO, 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 AO. Okay, in AO, you know, dominant allele is A. So definitely baby can have a blood group A. Okay, and you know, but here in a question they are telling that baby is having a O blood group type. So how a baby might have got O blood group? Then the father's genotype is not AA in that case. Okay, maybe the father is having a genotype AO, guys. Okay, even if he is having a genotype AO, then his blood group remains A only because A allele is dominant. Just now I told. Okay, say imagine if father's genotype is not AA, it is AO. Okay, and mother's genotype, it has to be OO only. Okay, because mother's blood group is O, guys. Okay, along with the O, if I put A, her blood group will become A. If I put B, her blood group will become B because dominant ones are A and B. Okay, mother is having O blood group means her genotype is definitely OO. Okay, but father's blood group is A means he can have a genotype either AA or it can be AO. If it is AA, you know, the kids all are getting a blood group A. Yes or no? If it is AO, let us work it out what the kids can get a blood group. Right? Now he can produce a gamete which is having A allele or he can produce a gamete having O allele. Okay, and mother always produces a gamete, possible gametes as O allele. Now check the possible varieties of blood groups in the Punnett box. Okay, gametes of father is now A and O. Gametes of mother is O and O. Combine these two. AO, yes, OO, AO, OO. See? There are 50% chances of getting A blood group. 50% chances are there to get O blood group in case of a child, their child. You know, From this we can understand that father is having a genotype AO, mother is having a genotype OO. That's the reason they might have got a daughter, and daughter had got O blood group, because there are chances, just now we worked out. Okay, you see, among the four possible genotypes, two are AO, that means A blood group, A allele is dominant, no? So the baby would be having A blood group with this genotype. Okay, 50% chances are the babies may have completely O blood group. Okay, say in this question, what they said, baby has a O blood group. That means definitely father had this genotype, mother had this genotype. So when they combined, they would have got a daughter with O blood group, because 50% chances are there here to get O blood group. Whereas in this case, there are no chance of a baby getting O blood group, because you see, if this is the condition, genotype of a father, if this is the genotype of a mother, then all their babies will get A blood group only. But if the genotype father is this, mother's genotype is this, then at least you have 50% of chances of getting O. Maybe like that, maybe this is the exact genotype of father. That's the reason they had got a baby with O group. Okay, say this is how actually you can predict. But actually, what is the question they asked you? Is this information enough to tell whether A group is dominant or O group is dominant? No, this information is not enough, guys. Okay, got to know? Actually speaking, in the blood groups, A and B are dominant, O is always recessive. So what is the answer? Just I am showing you how their daughter would have got O group here. Okay, actually this is also not the answer. I have explained the question. Okay, how her daughter had got O blood group. Okay, clear? Fine. And what is the answer you will write here is, the answer is this information is not enough to tell which trait is dominant, which trait, that is A or O, is dominant. You cannot tell. You cannot decide which is dominant and which is recessive based on this particular information that they gave. Okay. Actually, if the question was asked, can you tell me how their daughter got O blood group, then you can put this and tell. Father must have had heterozygous AO genotype, mother must have had homozygous OO type. So these are the gametes. So when the gametes combined, you had 50% of chance of getting O blood group. So this is how their daughter got O blood group. You can give this as an answer if the question was asked how a baby had got O blood group. Okay, right? Say various possible ways you have to think, guys. Okay, I purposefully took this question is because so many things we have covered. You can also tell why their daughter got O group, at what condition their daughter is having a O group. Okay, what is the condition? The condition of a father's genotype have to be this, mother's genotype have to be this. Only then their daughter will get O group. But if the father's genotype is this and mother's genotype is this, definitely they will not get the children with O blood group. Okay, and among the blood group, always A and B alleles are dominant and O is recessive. Okay, so just to give this entire information for you, I took this question. Okay, actually for this question, the answer is, this information is not enough to tell which is a dominant, right? Okay, now let us go for one more question. Try to observe the question carefully, read it. A Mendelian experiment consisted breeding, that is, he crossed tall pea plant with violet flower. Okay, see, remember here tall is also a dominant character and having violet flower is also a dominant character. Yes or no? So the parent is having two dominant characters. Okay, so tall pea plant with violet flower crossed with Short pea plants with white flowers. Shortness is also recessive character. White flower, in the flower color, white is recessive. Yes or no? Violet is dominant. This idea you should have. Okay. All progeny, their kids, all have violet flowers. Okay. All kids are having violet flowers. But almost half of them are short. Okay, see, all kids have violet flowers, but all kids are not tall, it seems. Some of them are short. Half of the generation are short, it seems. Okay, so this is what the given information. Okay, you have one tall plant with violet flower. Okay, this is one parent crossed with short plant with white flower. These are the two parents, guys. Okay, you will get their kids, no? All kids, that means all kids are having violet flower. Okay, all have violet flower, but all are not tall. You know, you have some of them short. You have some of them short. Okay, so you had got tall violet flower containing kids also. You also have violet color with short plants also as kids, you know. And what is the question they are asking? What is the genotype of tall plant? So what is this genotype? You have to predict the genotype of tall plant, guys. Okay, so you have to be very careful in doing this. So I will show how to predict it. See, since the parent is tall violet, tall for showing tallness, if I take the alleles both capital T, if I take the alleles for violet as both capital W, W is for flower color, since it is dominant, no, capital W I wrote. So if I consider this genotype as a tall parent, tall violet parent, okay, and the genotype of short and white parent, short means recessive genes she must have had, and white in the sense two small w's. Okay, initially I will think that this is the genotype and I will work it out with the generation. Okay, I will see whether I am getting these kids or not. What are the kids? All of them should have violet flowers and some of them must be short. If I can satisfyingly get these kids, then I can say the genotype of tall plant is this. Options are given. I can tick it for this particular option. But let me work and check whether I can get the progeny of all violet flowers and the half of them short. Okay, let me check, work it out. So what may be the gametes of this particular plant? Gamete can take one allele capital D and one this, and another possible gamete is gamete can have this allele and gamete can have another W. And here also small t small w one gamete, small t small w another type of gamete. Okay, now put the Punnett box and check it. What do you get? Gametes of this parent I'll write here. Okay, and gametes of this parent I will write here, small t small w small t small w. Okay, combine both of them, you get capital T small t capital W capital W. That means you are getting tall violet kids only, right? This genotype tells you that the kid is tall and violet. Okay, and here capital T small t capital W capital W. And this genotype also tells that kid is tall and violet. And here capital T small t capital W small w. Here also you can say that the kid is tall and violet, right? Dominant one is there, then it only will get expressed. And here capital T small t capital W small w. Here also you can tell that the kid is tall and violet. You see, all kids are tall and violet. Okay, that means
actually what you should get all kids having violet flowers, and some of them must be short, and you are not getting shorter kids only. Okay, all have violet flowers, but you see all kids height is also tall, none of them are short here, none of the condition is short. That means this is not the genotype of father, right? This is not the genotype of father. So this option is wrong. This option is wrong. Capital T, capital T, capital W genotype for tall parent is wrong. Let us work it out with another genotype. Okay, you see here all kids have violet flowers. That means the genotype WW will not change here, it will remain. But let me put that tallness as capital T and small t. Okay, I will consider this genotype of a tall plant now. Yes, even if the plant, tall violet plant has this genotype, it grows out as tall and flowers can be of violet, right? And you know, shorter plants genotype will not change. Since short means recessive to observe, both alleles have to be recessive, small t, and white is also recessive. So this is the genotype of this thing. And now work it out with gametes. See, one gamete can have capital T as a gene for height, and in another character I will take this allele, right? And another possible gamete is it can have small t and one more W that is remaining. And here small t, small w, and gamete can also be of small t and small w. Okay, now do the Punnett square and check. What do you get? Gametes of this parent is capital T, capital W, small t, capital W, right? And gametes of this parent, small t, small w, small t, small w. Okay, and now combine. What do you get? Capital T, small t, capital W, small w. Okay, you will get tall violet kids. Okay, combine this with this. What do you get? Small t, capital W, small w. See, gene for height, both recessive. That means this is a short plant with violet flowers. Yes, next. Combine these two. What do you get? Capital T, small t, capital W, small w. That means here also tall and violet. Next, small t, capital W, small w. So here you are getting, guys, short violet. Yes. See, what is the condition? All progeny have violet flowers. See, all of them have violet. Right? Flower, you check, all have violet. But almost half of them are short, you see. See, among the 4 varieties, 2 varieties are short, 2 varieties are tall. That means half of the kids are shorter, but all of them are having violet. So here the condition given in a question is satisfied. Okay, so when you are getting this condition, guys, when you take the genotype of tall plant as this and genotype of short plant as this. Yes or no? So what is the question they asked? What is the genotype of tall plant? So the genotype of the tall violet plant is capital T, small t, capital W, capital W. Only then you will get all varieties with violet flowers and some of them being short. Okay, so where is the option, guys? Capital T, small t, capital W, capital W. So option C is correct. Clear, everybody? See, genotype of parent also can be asked, telling about the nature of kids, that is in the progeny generation. Clear, everybody? So this is how questions can be asked. So you can able to answer such questions only if you are perfect with the basic concept. Okay, so how we have done a monohybrid cross, how we have done a dihybrid cross, you know, if you are perfect with that concept, any of the question, whatever the way they ask, you can easily give the answers. Okay, but you should carefully read the question first, analyze, try to understand what they have given, what they are asking, and then think and work out with the question. Okay, so with this I complete the topic heredity. Revise it carefully. Very, very important and interesting topic also. Yes or no? So just post it in a comment box whether you felt the topic interesting or not. Okay? Clear? Fine. See you in the next class with a topic called evolution. Thank you.